In 2025, India officially became the world's fourth largest economy, surpassing Germany and nearing a $4 trillion GDP milestone. This achievement is the result of years of strategic planning, demographic advantages, and relentless ambition. India's transformation from a developing nation to a global powerhouse has been rapid and remarkable. In the April-June quarter, the economy grew at a stunning 7.8%, outpacing global forecasts and showcasing its resilience. India now adds nearly $1 trillion to its GDP every 12-18 months, a pace unmatched for an economy of this size. Projections show India overtaking Japan by 2028, aiming for a $30 trillion GDP by 2047. This growth is reshaping global trade, investment, and geopolitics, making India a key player in the world economy. Its expanding middle class is one of the largest consumer bases globally, attracting international business and investment. India's economic rise is not just a national triumph, it's a global event with far-reaching implications. The world is watching as India sets a new pace for growth and development in the 21st century. The story of 2025 is just the beginning of a new era of multipolar economic leadership. India's economic surge is powered by its booming technology sector. The country is now a global leader in software, IT services, and digital innovation, with tech projected to contribute nearly 20% of GDP by 2030. Indian talent drives 20% of the world's semiconductor chip design, fueling an ambitious push to build a $150 billion chip industry by 2030. Massive investments in semiconductor fabrication and the Digital India initiative have created a vast domestic market for digital services. The UPI system has revolutionized digital payments, making India a global leader in fintech. Tech exports are rising, providing high-value jobs and foreign exchange, while a vibrant startup culture fuels grassroots innovation. India's identity as a technology superpower is now a reality, fundamentally reshaping its economic destiny. The nation's digital transformation is a cornerstone of its global ascent. Alongside its digital boom, India's Make in India initiative is driving a manufacturing renaissance. The Production-Linked Incentive (PLI) scheme has attracted billions in investment across sectors like electronics, pharma, and automotive. India is now a prime destination for companies diversifying supply chains, benefiting from the global China Plus One strategy. The automotive sector is projected to produce 7.5 million vehicles annually by 2030, while healthcare and pharma are expanding rapidly. India is also making strides in high-tech manufacturing, including space technology. This broad-based industrial growth is creating jobs, reducing import dependency, and building a resilient economy. The manufacturing revival is a key pillar of India's economic boom. India's business-friendly reforms and skilled workforce are attracting global manufacturers. The Make in India revolution is cementing the country's place in global value chains. India's economic expansion is driven by bold government policies and massive infrastructure investment. The PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan integrates 16 ministries for coordinated infrastructure development, accelerating project execution. Annual infrastructure spending is set to exceed $290 billion through 2030, laying the foundation for long-term productivity. Reforms like the Goods and Services Tax and digitized government services have improved the ease of doing business. The Reserve Bank of India's proactive monetary policy supports growth while managing inflation. These coordinated efforts boost investor confidence and attract foreign capital. India's focus on infrastructure and reform is creating a predictable, efficient environment for business. The government's vision is clear: build a competitive, world-class economy. Policy synergy between government and central bank is powering India's ascent. India's economic strategy is global, with a focus on expanding exports and forging new trade alliances. The goal: over $2 trillion in exports by 2030, supported by free trade agreements with the UK, EU, and US. These deals open vast markets and modernize trade in services, investment, and digital commerce. India's growing economic weight gives it a stronger voice in global forums and as a leader of the global south. Navigating protectionism and global tensions is a challenge, but India is balancing market access with domestic interests. Strategic alliances are key to diversifying exports and building resilience. India's trade diplomacy is shaping the rules of global commerce. India's growth story faces real-world challenges, including new US tariffs of up to 50% on Indian imports in 2025. These tariffs could reduce GDP growth by up to 0.8 percentage points and have weakened the rupee. Despite strong headline growth, corporate earnings have slowed, with top companies reporting weak revenue. Consumer demand remains soft, and the Nifty 50 index has underperformed regional peers. Foreign investors have pulled $15 billion from Indian equities, reflecting cautious sentiment. The disconnect between GDP growth and corporate performance highlights the complexity of managing a large, open economy. Navigating these headwinds requires deft policy and a focus on domestic demand. India's resilience will be tested by external shocks and market volatility. The path to sustained growth is rarely smooth, but India's fundamentals remain strong. Overcoming these challenges is as crucial as seizing new opportunities. India's true growth engine is its massive, youthful population and expanding middle class. By 2040, the middle class will grow by nearly 600 million, driving a consumption boom responsible for 75% of expenditure growth. Rapid urbanization will see over half the population living in cities, which will contribute 70% of GDP by 2036. This urban shift demands huge investment in housing, transport, and utilities. The PM Gati Shakti Plan is building integrated infrastructure to connect production and consumption hubs. Annual infrastructure spending of $290 billion is unlocking the potential of India's demographic and urban transition. As cities grow and infrastructure improves, businesses thrive and jobs are created. This domestic momentum provides a buffer against global volatility. India's internal engine gives experts confidence in its long-term trajectory. A new trend is reshaping India's economy: the financialization of household savings. More Indians are investing in equities, with Demat account ownership projected to reach 30% by 2035. This surge in retail investment provides stable domestic capital for Indian companies, reducing reliance on foreign investors. Financial literacy and mobile trading apps are making markets accessible to millions. As more citizens become shareholders, there's greater demand for corporate transparency and good governance. This shift is creating a stronger equity culture and aligning personal wealth with national growth. Retail investors now play a stabilizing role in the market. The rise of a nation of investors is a social and economic transformation. India's market economy is being strengthened from the ground up. In 2025, India stands as a $4 trillion economy, an extraordinary milestone, but just the beginning. The goal: become the world's third largest economy by 2028 and reach $30 trillion GDP by 2047. India's rise is powered by demographics, technology, manufacturing, and reform. Its growing market and influence will reshape global demand and supply chains. India's economic weight brings new geopolitical influence and a unique voice in global affairs. Sustaining growth will require continued reform, investment in people, and broad-based prosperity. The journey to 2047 will be one of the defining economic stories of our time. India is not just rising, it's poised to become a defining force in the 21st century global economy.